in your pocket? That's what we're made for. Call for a quote.
It's Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly, giving your perspective on teamwork. You will not get anywhere else. We do not teach you how to rise to the occasion. There's no such thing as rise to the occasion. It's actually falling to your level of preparation. Everybody rises to the occasion, and anything they do, they're always going to be falling to your level of preparation. Meaning, you got to be prepped. You got to have the mindset. You got to already be on up and up, already be on the trajectory in which you can do some incredible things before you can do anything for anybody, before anybody can help you, before anybody's going to solve what your problems are. You got to have the up and up. You got to be coming up and moving and moving. That's the only way anybody's going to do anything for you, is when you make the fucking decision to actually go out and be great. Go out and be great, all right? So saying all that brings me, I'm harping on that point for a reason. Today's most thought. So if you have not yet, before I even get into it, if you have not yet, make sure you go to medium.com right now and follow me at Move Swiftly 44. If you're not familiar with medium.com, Medium is a platform for writers and creators, content creators like myself, but more so started out in the writing world. See, as a content creator, you never know where a person started out at, because it could have been real estate, it could have been they had to develop a personality, as a trainer. They had to develop personality as a cosmetologist, or whatever it is that your skill is, whatever you're good at. For me, I started out as an independent scout, where I have to actually go to games and write up scouting reports. So for me as a content creator, I started out from the perspective of a writer. All right, so writing has always been my thing. It's been my therapy. It's been my way. I will say after college, writing has always been the thing that I go to when it comes to just therapeutically getting things out. And this was before the ChatGPT days and all that kind of stuff, where you can actually now get responses if you're genuine when it comes to what it is you're putting out there from a writing standpoint. So because of all that, because of the opportunity that's presented, I got an email. So I got an email. Well, actually, before I get to the email, so for about 2 or 3 years now, I've been a Medium partner. So medium.com, again, it's where you have the articles. It's like a YouTube, but it's just for written articles, so like written material, right? So I've been a Medium partner for about 2.5 years now, coming up on 2 years now. I've been part of the Medium partner program, where my stories are behind the paywall, right? So again, make sure you go follow me on Medium, on medium.com, subscribe to all of my articles and stuff like that. So anyway, I got an email from the Medium platform saying that they're going to be giving incentives to they're going to be giving incentives to the people who discover the articles from Google. So if you go on Google and you look me up, or you look if they find an article from a Google search, they're going to be incentives, or there's going to be some algorithms and things going to be changed to where they're trying to make it so people are now discovering their writers from Google. So they're looking from Google, and then they're finding medium.com. So if you look me up, you'll see the first things that come up, the first links, first profiles that come up are, the first one's going to be obviously Instagram, because that's the biggest, but right after Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's aswandc.com, which is kind of my testimonial site, my speaker site. But then right after that, you'll see the Medium articles. The Medium is my biggest platform. And if I had my choice, I would go Medium, YouTube, Medium as my biggest platforms. Obviously YouTube, because it's more popular, but Medium, again, because I'm a writer and because a lot of my content comes from the written material I put out there. They sent an email basically saying, like I said, they're going to be looking toward giving more incentive for the people that are finding you based off Google search, right? So anyway, saying all that, I put the entire email into ChatGPT, and I asked the question, hey, all right, so how do I what are the things that I need to be doing? What are the things I need to be doing to make it so more people are discovering me from the Google back to the Medium? And then basically what they told me is, hey, basically what it told me was, I'm saying they like it's a person, which it can't be a person in many ways, but basically what it told me was, hey, you got to start creating these things called SEO signal callers and signaling people. So now, just like you would write a post on Instagram or post on LinkedIn, put those same type of posts on Medium, which is basically what they're doing. And I'm bringing all this to your attention. I'm bringing all this to your attention because if you can listen to me throughout this entire 4 minutes, I've basically been creating ways in which technology can work for me. And I'm saying all that to you as a business owner because now that we see jobs being lost and people, listen, that dude ain't playing. Trump is not playing. He came into office. It's been a year now. He's not playing. If you are one of these people that are just dead weight and you're just sitting back collecting a check, you will get replaced. You'll get replaced by technology, and technology will replace your ass. I'm telling you something that you need to hear so you do not become one of those people that get replaced and figure out how to use technology to work for you, how to make technology work for you. You got to figure out what it is you're good at, what it is you can do, and figure out how to initiate and integrate technology into what it is you're great at. But that starts with you. That starts with your mindset. That starts with how you operate. It starts with what exactly you're good at and really being honest and open enough and genuine enough and humble enough to listen to some folks that have done it before so you can learn some things and then you can find your lane. That's what you have to do. So that's pretty much today's Move Swiftly thought. Again, main thing, go follow me on medium.com. It's at Move Swiftly. Main website for all things employee development. It's makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYaMove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand Cruickshank, the one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Check it out. You guys see the Move Swiftly. We will talk more. All right. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good. You feeling the time of day that you're tuning into this? Again, like I said, Aswand Cruickshank here. Your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, current 6-time published author and educator, creator of this whole movement, this whole brand, this whole concept called the Move Swiftly platform, where we take the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and apply them to businesses and business owners. So you have a staff and or a group of employees that moves as efficiently as a championship high school or youth football team. If you would like more information on how to get involved with that or how to get a workshop or be one of those companies, become a client and get a workshop and do all your research on me to make sure I'm legit, background checks, all that kind of stuff is available on makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYaMove.com. It is your one-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. Okay, folks, let's finish this out. So, and if you're new around here, let me just kind of break it down the way the whole system works in terms of how I put out the content. Live streams are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's going to be Make Your Move Monday kickoff question, Top 5 Tuesday, Win-Trapreneur Wednesday. If you don't know what a Win-Trapreneur is, you'll find out in just a moment here. Thursdays and Fridays, I usually take that time to create for next. I used to actually do a recap episode on Thursday and a faith-based Friday on Friday, but I was actually advised by my significant other. We're going to get to the significant other and the things I've learned from her, but I was advised by her to, hey, cut it those 2 days and just use those 2 days to give yourself a little bit of space. Well, I appreciate it. Again, if she's listening, I appreciate her for giving me that advice. I still use a lot of the stuff that she use some of that stuff in which she taught me. I still apply it, which is, again, is actually going to be leading into our discussion today in terms of feelings. But I'll get there in a second. Give me a second. So Thursday and Fridays are usually my recoup days in which I figure out what I'm going to be talking about the next week. Saturdays, go to film session Saturdays because that's where the college football be breaking down actual live games. Again, that started past all the way last year at the end of last football season when after the national championship game of college football last year, I started doing film session Saturdays. That's going to continue to keep going every Saturday. And Sundays are kind of the recap days in terms of how the weekend went, how the week went, what we're going to be talking about the following week. So that's the kind of the tentative or the rough schedule if you're new around here in terms of how we put out the content. All right. As far as today, now Wednesday, the Win-Trapreneur Wednesday feature, we are finishing up our conversation on how exactly do we process feelings. All right. First of all, we broke down what are feelings. We broke down what feelings are this past Monday, which I made sure I stated it. Those are temporary. It's a temporary state of mind. It's a temporary thing that you can't get too caught up in. You can't get caught off guard by making a major life decision based on feelings. All right. Speaking of that significant other, that's what she has a problem of doing. Right. she has a genuine issue, which again, I can't really change that in her. It's the reason we're not talking right now is that there's a fundamental issue that she has in terms of you're going to make a life decision based on the way you feel about something as opposed to what the facts are and what's actually being laid out. All right. So again, that's the way life works. Again, some people are here to help you. The same people are here to help you. They're going to not be perfect. There's no perfect person out there. So that's what we're going to discuss here today. All right. As far as Win-Trapreneur Wednesday, we are going to I'm gonna let you in my inner sanctum. All right, like I always do, but I'm gonna let you in my inner sanctum a little bit because I'll just say it now. Just put it out to you right now. All right. Whenever I'm going through a rough time, I wouldn't even call it a rough time. I know a rough time is when you got mouths to feed and you're living under a bridge and you don't know where your next check is coming from. And I'm blessed. I am really, really blessed. If you look at the situation that I'm in personally, from where I was back when I lived in Maryland, when I first got out to Florida, I will tell you right now, I'm blessed. I'm blessed when you look at what other folks actually go through, right? However, that doesn't mean life doesn't get overwhelming for me at times. And it got really, really overwhelming for me. It's been really overwhelming for me for the past 2 weeks. And whenever I'm overwhelmed, I'm just going to tell you guys right now, straight up, where this feature came from today. Whenever I'm overwhelmed, Friday Night Lights always comes. Everybody has their thing, right? For me, Friday Night Lights, I could go through all 5 seasons. I can go through all 5 seasons from the first season all the way to when Tammy Taylor gets her college job in Philadelphia, and Coach Eric Taylor had to go coach high school ball in Philadelphia, and they moved in the whole set. I can watch the whole 5 seasons and get my mind right. Because as you can see right there in that photo, I've lived it. And the timing of Friday Night Lights, and again, like I was telling you guys yesterday, in terms of the power in intellectual property, right? Intellectual property, the most powerful thing you can have, the greatest gift you could give yourself is to have some intellectual property, because intellectual property lasts a lifetime. It's a lifetime job to sell your book, right? Intellectual property. And we're going to see how it came out today, because Friday Night Lights started as a book, became a movie, then became a TV show, and it captured a feeling. It captured a feeling, which is exactly why we're going to be talking about it today. You as a business owner, you got to be creating an experience. You got to be capturing a feeling. You got to be taking your clients on a journey so they can reiterate and come up with that feeling and really, really develop over time because of the work you've been able to put out there in whatever capacity you've been able to put it out there as. All right. So without all that, let's jump right into it today. All right. First thing, back signed into. All right, I got you. Okay. Win-Trapreneur Wednesday, capturing a feeling, a Friday Night Lights feature. All right, so that right there, that image right there, as you can see the date right there, 2006. That was the last. Did not know it was going to be last. Didn't know it was going to be the last time I played under the Friday Night Lights, under the lights of the Friday Night Lights. Did not know it was going to be the last time. Again, I mean, you could know because you don't really think about these things when you're thinking about where you're going to be playing in college or anything like that. But very few college programs, very few. It happens very rarely to have a college program play under the lights on Friday Night Lights. In fact, I remember actually when Maryland did it one year, they did it in like a spring game type of a capacity, and they had it under the lights, the Friday Night Lights game under the lights, and they set it up and stuff like that. But you don't really realize, hey, the last time that you're going to be, I'm just noticing. I'm noticing that that's me taking the picture. The reflection on that is me taking the picture. That's crazy. Yo, that's crazy. So that's me, 18-year-old kid, 17, I think at the time. And this is me, a grown 30-year-old man. And I'm taking the picture of it. You could see the reflection of me taking the picture of it in it. Wow. That is insane. I'm now noticing that. That's crazy. All right. So anyway, Friday Night Lights, again, when you hear the term Friday Night Lights, that right there was the last time I played in a Friday Night Lights game. Okay, it wasn't the last game I played in. It was the last time I played under the Friday Night Lights. And pretty much high school was the last time I played significantly. When I got to college, I only was a scout team player and got in on like mop-up duty and stuff like that. So, that was pretty much the last time I played significantly in the game. So when you think about the brand and the story and when it came from book all the way to 5-season TV show, it's because they were able to capture a feeling and continue to build stories off of that. All right. So I 2006, about roughly 2 years after that, 2.5 years after that, family went through a lot. All right. Both my grandmothers passed away. My father got a kidney transplant. I went through a
ACL surgery. My sister made me an uncle. She had my first niece came, and then my nephew came, whose birthday's coming up. A lot of things happened since that time. And again, when you're able to capture that feeling, it creates something. It creates an opportunity. It creates things that are honestly timeless. All right, timeless. So let's jump into this. Let's jump right into it. So could not think of a more perfect way to kick off the first Win-Trapreneur Wednesday of November and close out this week's theme of diagnosing what feelings really are and how to process them. So, but before, all right, so yeah, any newcomers, let me define what a Win-Trapreneur is, which, by the way, again, like I might have mentioned, I'll say it again, that is going to be the title of book number 6, which you are going to be able to pre-order within the next couple of days, as soon as I'm literally just waiting for my guy to get the right cover right and stuff like that, and it'll be available for pre-order. So, but before we get into the story, let's get clear on what a Win-Trapreneur actually is. It's a term I coined years ago to describe a person with a strong entrepreneurial vision for their life who's been blessed enough to find a job that aligns with that vision. It's also the title of my 6th book. Coming soon. Follow me on medium.com for updates and exclusive perks when pre-orders open. All right, so just to finish off that announcement, I didn't realize, I completely slipped my mind that I put that in here, but so the people who follow me on medium.com, there will be discounts for the book because the book is going to be compiled. It's not going to be worded the same, but it's going to be compiled of the articles that you see here. But there's a difference. What I've learned and what I know about intellectual property and reading is there's a difference between reading a book like with your highlighting and stuff like that versus reading something on the internet. It's 2 completely different experiences. So that's why, again, that's why I'm always constantly kind of giving you nudges and reminders that the people that follow me on Medium are going to be getting discounts on the books and all the books, to be honest with you. So, all right, so here we go. Why Friday Night Lights still hits home. So the story of Friday Night Lights, the book, the movie, and the TV show is deeply personal to me. It's deeply personal. All 3 of them are deeply personal to me. Honestly, it's hard to explain to people who don't know me well, but if you spent even 10 minutes around me or looked up anything about what I do, it makes perfect sense. All right. Over the last few weeks, I've been wrestling with a lot emotionally. All right. I'm just going to put it out there as vulnerable as I can. All right. My mother just returned from a 12-day cruise. So no real venting outlet there. I couldn't vent to my mom for the past 12 days because she's out there enjoying her life. My girlfriend, she's officially stopped talking to me. She just doesn't talk to me anymore. I deal daily. This is my daily grind. I daily deal with female co-workers who test my patience. They test my patience on a daily basis to the point where half the job is not losing my shit on some of them. That's half the job at this point. It's one thing to deal with kids. It's another thing to mentally in your own head say, look, part of the job now is not losing your shit on your coworkers. Okay. Parts, especially when you have a girlfriend who doesn't talk to you. I guess I can stop calling her my girlfriend at this point. Girlfriend's not talking to you, and then a mom who's on a 12-day cruise, and I can't really vent to her like I normally do. All right, and there's a past situation, and I'll say it like this. I'll say this part like this: there's a past situation that who reappeared looking damn good. By the way, looking good. There's a past situation that reappeared who's looking damn good, and I'm not gonna say anything else after that. We only put that out there for right now. So with all this, I was wrestling. I'm only saying it because I want to kind of give you guys understanding of whenever I am overwhelmed with certain things. This is what I do whenever I'm overwhelmed with a major decision. I do what I always do. All right, when life feels like it's too much, I turned on Friday Night Lights. It's funny hearing it, yeah, because that's actually what I do. And everybody has that thing where whenever, like, some people like ice cream, right? Some people they get a tube of ice cream and they cry their eyes out. Some people go to the strip club. Some people drink at the bar. So whatever you do to get your shit together in terms of when life gets overwhelmed, I watch Friday Night Lights, right? Whenever I'm depressed and I'm going through some stuff, Friday Night Lights always has the answers for me. I don't know. Hey, listen, man. There's everybody is wired a certain way. That's the way I'm wired. All right. So anyway, I go watch Friday Night Lights. It's more than a comfort show for me. It's a reminder of why I started Move Swiftly in the first place. Right. Every theme that runs through that story teamwork, struggle, leadership, family, resilience are the exact concepts my platform and curriculum are built on. So from the field to the foundation. Now I'm going to tell you how and why that show is always a trigger for me. It's always a sense of helping me get through my shit, right? So I first came across Friday Night Lights, the book, as a teenager. I was at the library with my mother. I noticed it, but I never grabbed it, right? A few years later, when the movie came out, me and my sister, I watched the movie. I watched it with my sister. Me and my sister went to the theater and we watched the movie while my school's varsity team saw it as a group with the coaches. So when the movie came out, I was still on JV in my high school, right? But the varsity team, they went out to the movie theater and watched the actual movie. While I knew what was going on. I saw it with my sister, but then again, because my sister was in college at the time, then the varsity team, they came back and they had watched it as a team. So the reason I know this is because the next day, everyone in school was talking about it, showing off the Friday Night Lights shirts and wearing it underneath their shoulder pads. That feeling, understand that feeling and that sense of being a part of something bigger, it stuck with me, right? So by the time the TV series launched, I was living that life myself. So by the time the TV series launched, which was 06, if I'm not mistaken, it was 06. So I was a senior. I was already a senior in high school. Well, senior on the field. I graduated 07, so I was a senior on the field, right? I was a captain on my high school football team, on my high school team, Our Lady of Good Counsel. My father was battling a kidney disease, and he was on dialysis my whole high school career. So I'm like Matt Saracen and thinking about his grandmother and seeing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was these triggers, man. It was these triggers, man. I had a high school sweetheart who, truth be told, never came to the games. I didn't want to accept it at the time, but the fact that she couldn't make it to any of my games, always had some excuse as to why she couldn't make it. I didn't realize that was actually going to be a thing that made it so we wouldn't last after high school. I should have known it, but again, I talked to you guys a little bit about that yesterday in terms of just being honest about what's going to work and what's not going to work. I have my mom and my sister were at every game, every snap. They did not miss this right here. My sister, every single game. She was at every single game, and my mom was at every single game. So when you have that to compare to, when you have the mother and the sister who's there for everything, and then you have the girlfriend who's always making fucking excuses as to why she can't make it to a game, even though you knew the schedule, you knew exactly where and when I'd be playing months in advance, you couldn't arrange some shit. That's what I mean when I say I've always been the person that is subjected to or can be taken advantage of by women. And one of the things I've learned actually for myself is when it comes to the work I do, whether it is athletics, fitness, education, I leave myself susceptible to being taken advantage of by a single mother. I'm gonna put that out there right now so you guys hear me clearly. When it comes to the work I do, and I want the men to hear me from my heart when I say this, all right? When it comes to the work I do, whether it is fitness, whether it's athletics, whether it's education, all right? Or even, again, some politics, a little politics there, here and there too, right? But I leave myself susceptible to be taken advantage of by a single mother, all right? And again, there's nothing wrong with that. You as a man, you have to understand the work you do and what you're going to attract. And then you have to work towards being in a position where you're not being taken advantage of. But there's never apologize and never beat yourself up for wanting to do the right thing. It just is human nature, like we talked about yesterday, that people will take advantage of you when they see you, right? So that's what happened. And again, this right here was a big thing for me to have to accept. And that's what the story does, right? That's what watching Friday Night Lights does for me, right? So anyway, let me get back to it. So I was and this is, again, listen to what I'm telling you, because this is all true. I can't make this stuff up. This stuff absolutely happened, all right? Mom and sister at every game, played for, and then final thing, I played for a legendary coach who retired with the most wins in Maryland history. His name is Bob Malloy. Yeah, you could look this is verifiable information if you guys want. Looking it up. Bob Malloy, all time. Again, I remember all time right there. Okay, he's been the all-time winningest coach in Maryland history, and that's who coached me. All right, something legendary. Bob Malloy on February 10th. I just looked them up. I got kind of curious. Right. So that was my high school life, and that's why the story is called. Let me read it to you directly. So that photo up top, that's senior night 2006. My last game under those Friday night lights, right? My last time wearing that jersey, standing beside the two people who believed in me most. Fast forward to 2025, and my path has led me right back to mentoring through sports and fitness, still teaching the same principles, still using football as the lens for leadership. All right. Now, the business lesson. Here's the business lesson. I'll close you guys out with this. All right. The business lesson. Capturing feelings, not just facts. All right. If you're a business owner or a leader reading this, here's the real takeaway. You're not just selling a product or managing employees. You're curating an experience, one that creates emotion, connection, and belief. Too many organizations today are just putting out fires. No connection, no passion, no sense of belonging. And that's why people burn out. They show up to collect their checks instead of chase purpose. That's not leadership. That's survival. And it's time we all raise the standard. All right. What made Friday Night Lights so powerful wasn't the football. It was the feeling, the pride, the heartbreak, the grind, the bond between players, coaches, and parents who knew every game could be their last. That's what leadership should feel like. That's what your business should feel like. Don't tell your story. Capture the feeling behind it. Write it down, publish it, and let it live beyond you. Hear that last point. Don't just tell your story. Capture the feeling behind it. Write it down. Publish it. Let it live beyond you, because somewhere out there, someone is waiting to see themselves in your story, and that's how you spark belief in others. So again, if you want all of this, if this is what you want to be, if this is what you're about, all right, if you want this kind of training in terms of your workplace and your development and how you're able to really create this culture in your own staff, go to makeyourmove.com. That's MAKEYAMOVE.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. And make sure you constantly are checking in with me in terms of how you can operate and what the employee development workshops are all about. All right. All that being said, again, we'll pick it up. Don't forget, we'll be back here on the live stream Monday, but don't forget, film session Saturday is we're going to be doing the Rutgers versus Maryland game this week. So make sure you go subscribe to Film Session Saturday. Everyone out there, Aswand Cruickshank checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.